Welcome again, guys. In this chapter, we are going to understand the concept of pseudo classes and elements. Some of the important notes. Pseudo class is a selector that selects elements that are in a specific state. Example, selecting the first element of the group, the element which is being hovered by the mouse pointer, etc. It acts as if you had applied a class to some part of the document. These are the keywords that start with a colon. Some of the examples are colon first child, colon last child, colon nth child, colon invalid, hover, focus, etc. We have seen the colon hover in our previous chapter during the link states and button styling. Pseudo element act as if you had added a whole new HTML element into the markup rather than applying a class to the existing elements. These are the keywords that start with a double colon. For example, double colon before, double colon after, double colon first letter, double colon first line, double colon marker, double colon selection, etc. We will see all these in action during the demo. Here you can see we have a boilerplate code for the demo. Let's see the preview. The preview is very simple. Let's uncomment our first element, which is a UL with class numbers. And here you can see on the right side we have the preview as a unordered list. Now let's add the CSS. So we have a numbers, and let me add the CSS to individual li, okay, list item. And this time what I will do, I will try to select the first child and add CSS as red color. And here you go, our first element is red. Similarly, what if we try to add CSS to the last child and color as blue, and there you go. Okay, you can also add other CSS property like font width, like 600, and here you go, that is bold now. Similarly, we can also select the specific child with the nth child to the selector and have 3, okay, and that is like selecting the third child in the list and say color as pink. Okay, you can see the color is pink now, and probably font width as 300. Okay, that is same. So that's like our pseudo classes. Okay, and which is first child, last child, and nth child. Okay, so this focus will come later in the input field. Okay, this invalid also come there. However, we have seen. The next is our pseudo elements. Now let's uncomment this block code element, that is also another element in HTML. And here you go, we have a block code text, but we don't have that code, right? So we can easily add that code using the pseudo element. And how to do that is block code colon colon before, and inside this we need to use content, and which we can use as a opening braces. Okay, and then top should be 0. Okay, so here is the top, and the left also should be 0. Okay, and there you go. Okay, so this is not exactly the code we are looking, so that's why we need to use something called as open code. Okay, and here you go, it is now looking the open quote symbol. Okay, similarly for closing quote we can have that in the after pseudo element and use as close quote, and this time instead of top we need to use bottom as 0 and right as 0, and there you go. Okay, so we can have the font size as like a 20 pixel. Okay, there you go. you can see. Okay, so that's like a font size applied to the code. Okay, there you go. Now let's have this paragraph and try to add other pseudo elements. Okay, so we have a paragraph here, and if you see the width, this is taking the entire width of the browser. So let's first restrict our paragraph width as just 400 pixel. Okay, and there you go. Okay, now what we want is we want to add the CSS to the first letter in the paragraph. So we can do that with using first letter, and the font size as 30 pixel and color as probably red, and there you go. So it looks like a, during the newspaper article you might have seen this. So this is how it can be done. Similarly, to apply the CSS to the first line, we can use the colon colon first line and say font weight as 600, and there you see. Okay, we can have a color as 777, little grayish. Okay, there you go. Okay, so and the right now we can see that when once we select any particular text in the paragraph, we will see the background as blue. Okay, but we want this background color to be yellow, like how we use the yellow marker in our textbook, right? So to do that, we need to apply the CSS in the colon colon selection pseudo element. Okay, so background color as yellow, and now if we select the text, it is yellowish in color. Finally, we have a marker. Okay, so that is actually part of the list. Okay, there, instead of this bullet, we can use the content differently, like suppose star, by adding the CSS to the colon colon marker pseudo element, and here you go. Okay, let me give space. Okay, you can see. Okay, so that this way we can update the bullet style through the colon colon marker pseudo element. We can also increase the size as well. Okay, there you go. Okay, so this way you can basically play around with the bullet style. So that's all in this chapter. I hope you understood the pseudo classes and elements very well and apply in your web designing effectively. Thank you for watching. See you in the next chapter.